Good evening. Welcome to the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Bowale Akinbode. First, the headlines. Perhaps seek suspension of WAHEC CBT exams until 2030. Ibadan Circular Road victims continues protest insisting government must stop demolition. Britain sends warning to parents over deadly flu strain set to rip through states. United States' longest government shutdown in history came to an end. Ondo State Football Agency unveils coach Bowale Akinbode as Sunshine Stars head coach. Now the details. The House of Representatives has urged the Federal Ministry of Education and the West African Examination Council to suspend the planned introduction of computer-based tests (CBT) for the 2026 school examinations. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by Honorable Kelechi Wogu at today's plenary, following concern that most schools, especially in the rural areas, lack the infrastructure and manpower to support a full CBT transition. WAHEC, with the backing of the federal government, had earlier announced plans to conduct the 2026 May-June examination using computers, following the partial rollout of the model for private candidates in 2024. Leading the debate, Honorable Wogu expressed concern that despite opposition from the Nigerian Union of Teachers and Head of Schools, especially in rural areas where over 70% of students are located, the Ministry of Education has insisted on introducing CBT for the 2026 examination. The House further urged the Education Ministry and the state government to make provisions in the 2026, 2027, 2028 and 2029 budget for the recruitment of computer teachers, construction of computer halls with internet facilities, provision of standby generators and assessment of private schools, the readiness before fully implementing the CBT policy from 2030. In continuation of the 7-day protest, hundreds of residents from six local governments again took to the streets to oppose the ongoing land acquisition for the Circular Road project. The protesters from Akinyele, Egbeda, Lagelu, Onoara, Ido, and Oluyole, who said they were defending their homes and farmlands from government encroachment, blocked the Lagos to Ibadan toll gate for hours, carrying placards, banners, and posters with diverse inspirations. In an interview with Agidigbo FM News, the protesters narrated their ordeal regarding a rumor circulating that they have collected their compensation money.
Local government. Concerning the allegation, I challenge Prince Adelabu Adebayo, the Minister for Power, and I challenge the Governor of Oyo State and his cabinet, be it a check or wire transfer or cash, where we collected money from any politician, not only the Minister for Power. One of the things that made us come out today was what the governor did to some of our people. There was a place where the Governor of Oyo State demolished a 4-bedroom flat apartment that was fully fenced, well gated, full POP, full tiles with borehole, and they compensated them with 456,000. Here is the evidence.
We really appreciate the so-called circular road. We appreciate it, we want it, we love it. We beg him to compensate those people that have houses on the circular road. But the issue of corridor shouldn't even come up at all. It shouldn't come up. It is an advantage for we ourselves that we have houses along the road. The government said they want to start selling for infrastructure. If they sell all those lands out for foreigners, when our own children in future want to build houses and companies, where do they want them to use?
They also dismissed claims that politicians were sponsoring the demonstration, insisting that no political figure or party was involved and that their action was purely a people-driven demand for justice and transparency. The residents urged Governor Seyi Makinde to stop further demolition and fulfill his promise that no property would be affected without proper compensation, while vowing to continue the protest until their concerns are addressed. In recognition of the pivotal role healthcare facilities play in the environment, today the Olukule community launched its primary healthcare center in a bid to bridge the gap and ease issues of medical access for residents of over 40 communities. Agirigbe FM news correspondent was live at the commissioning. Oluwatosin Ologun brings the report.
The Olukule community and its environ in Egbeda local government state today marked a significant milestone with the launch of its primary healthcare center. The newly launched Olukule Community Primary Healthcare Center is expected to ease the burden of medical access for residents, providing quality medical services and improving overall well-being for over 40 communities. In his address, the Ololodo of Olodo land, His Royal Majesty Oba Mudashiru Adebayo Omodele lauded the initiative, appreciating the effort of all stakeholders involved in making the primary healthcare center a reality. While cutting the ribbon and officially inaugurating the health center, the executive chairman of Egbeda local government area, Honorable Sikiru Soda, appreciated the state government for creating an enabling environment for diverse development, promising continuous strides in the community.
So this is one of the projects from the CSDA. It is just like we are catering for the inner community to meet their needs, especially in terms of health. That is why we are having this. So it's a good project, and we appreciate the organizer, the community that put their efforts together to do this, so that the money given to you by the government is judiciously utilized.
Schools there also, and I think we are bringing back the dividend of democracy to the community, and then for the benefit of them, so that they can have the primary access to the health care instead of rushing people down to the secondary and the tertiary health care. They can have access to it at the basic health care.
Residents in separate interviews with Agirigbe FM expressed their gratitude and relief over the opening of the facility, stating that it will greatly improve their access to quality healthcare services. The launch of the Olukule Community Healthcare Center was attended by traditional leaders, healthcare professionals, and government officials who praised the initiative and emphasized the importance of accessible healthcare. Oluwatosin Ologun, Agirigbe FM News.
Adecom College of Business and Management Studies today organized a free medical outreach for residents of Ibadan as part of activities lined up for its convocation week. The comprehensive medical mission held within the college premises featured several medical units offering a range of health services. Agirigbe FM's news correspondent Babatunde Yoda was at the outreach. Aisha Oladeji brings the details.
As part of activities marking its week-long convocation ceremony scheduled for Saturday, Adecom College of Business and Management Studies organized a free medical outreach within the school premises at Egbeda, Ibadan. The outreach featured various medical units, including the scanning unit, ophthalmology and audiology clinics for eye and ear tests, pharmacy, laboratory, geriatrics clinic for the elderly, physiotherapy and massage unit, dental clinic, and general consultation section. Laboratory services such as abdominal and clinical scans, blood tests for hepatitis, HIV and malaria, as well as urine analysis were also offered. The initiative aimed at giving back to the community provided free medical services to about 500 beneficiaries comprising students, staff, and residents of Ibadan within and outside Egbeda local government area. Speaking with Agirigbe FM News, Director of Adecom College of Business and Management, Dr. Adewale Adeshina, commended the initiative, describing it as a laudable effort to promote community well-being.
We are doing this in commiserating of our first combined convocation ceremony. And why we have to do this is that we believe we have to go give back to our community, our society. And that is all what Adecom is all about. You can see most of our students, majority of them have scholarship and scholarship. So if we have been doing that, and God has been helping us, so we still believe, we still need to do that more than beyond education alone.
That a lot of people that you have been seeing here, they are not only from Egbeda, they are all over the country. Some of them even travel, from Abeokuta, from Lagos, Ibadan, like that. So it's an outreach. It's not a local outreach, an outreach nationwide. We were actually attending to Nigerian needs in the area of health.
Also speaking with Agidigbo FM News, beneficiaries expressed appreciation to the organizers for bringing healthcare services closer to the people.
What is happening here? And ever since we've been here, I've been able to check my blood pressure. I've done a massage, It's also an opportunity for us to once in a while to check ourselves as human that we have, so that we can know our health situation.
To the high test as well, which I really did the test and I feel good and I feel relieved. So I really want to give credit to the CEO of the school for giving so many people the privilege to have access to this wonderful humanitarian service.
The event not only promoted healthy living, but also reflected the institution's commitment to community development and social responsibility as part of its convocation activities. Aisha Oladeji, Agidigbo FM News.
Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kulamza Studio, Agidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damilola. Leading children's doctor in United Kingdom have urged parents to get their children nasal spray to protect against flu amid concerns over this particular bad season. Officials said that the strain, also known as Sublat K, currently dominates cases in England. Troublesome mutant strain of the flu is believed to be behind the concerning early spike in flu cases, which experts agree may be more severe than usual. Doctors also advise parents to ensure their children get their flu jab as soon as possible, as well as any other recommended winter vaccine. Recent data show hospital activity reaching levels that are not usually seen. This includes rising rate of hospital admission among younger children. United States President Donald Trump has signed a bill ending the longest government shutdown in the country's history. This came shortly after the House, the lower chamber of the U.S. Congress, passed the bill. Although it has been 43 days since the shutdown began, thousands of federal employees have been working without pay, with federal programs, agencies, and departments stalled without funding. However, on Monday, U.S. Senate passed a bill to end the situation while it was brought to the House of Representatives earlier today, and President Donald Trump finally gave approval. And that ends the news. From Kulamza Studio, Agidigbo FM, United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola.
Welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatose Soya. The longest government shutdown in history came to an end on Wednesday after weeks of gridlock causing air travel disruption, denying access to food benefits to millions, and forcing thousands of federal workers to go without paychecks. After 43 days and more than a dozen attempts to reopen the government, President Donald Trump signed the funding package passed by the Senate and House into law late Wednesday, meaning the funding lapse is officially over. The standoff began in late September as lawmakers faced the deadline to fund the government by the start of a new fiscal year on October 1. House Republicans passed the short-term funding measure on September 19 to keep the government funded at existing levels until November 21, but with Democratic support needed to move forward with any funding measure in the Senate, the chamber was at an impasse. U.S. lawmakers have released more than 20,000 pages of documents from the estate of the disgraced financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, including some that mention President Donald Trump. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee published 3 emails exchanges, including correspondence between Epstein, who died in 2019 in prison, and his longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking. They also released emails between Epstein and the author Michael Wolff, who has written numerous books about Trump. Within hours, House Republicans released a massive tranche of documents to counter what they said was a democratic effort to cherry pick documents. They also said it was an attempt to create a fake narrative to slander President Trump. Trump was a friend of Take Two. Trump was a friend of Epstein's for years, but the president has said they fell out in the early 2000s, 2 years before Epstein was first arrested. Trump has consistently denied any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. That has the news from Kole Amzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya.
Welcome back once again, now in the exciting world of sports. The Ondo State Football Agency, OTSFA, has officially unveiled coach Bowale Akinbode as the new head coach of Sunshine Stars Football Club. The Ondo-born tactician, who once donned the colours of Sunshine Stars, Eagles Cement and Dolphins FC during his playing days, holds a CAF-B coaching license as well as an advanced certificate from the National Institute for Sport. The unveiling ceremony took place today at the OTSFA headquarters in Akure, in the presence of the agency's chairman, Mr. Divine Ogbonaya, the team manager, Tokunbo Akinyelure, the administrative secretary, Lanre Abiodun, and other key stakeholders, where Akinbode signed a season contract. Speaking after signing the dotted lines, the experienced coach expressed his readiness to justify the confidence reposed in him by the agency and to steer Sunshine Stars back to the Nigerian Premier Football League. OTFA chairman Mr. Ogbonaya described the appointment as a deserving one for a true son of the soil, expressing optimism that Akinbode's experience and passion will drive the team's ambition for promotion. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. REPS seeks suspension of WAEC CBT exams until 2030. Ibadan Circular Road victims continues protest, insisting government must stop demolition. Britain sends warning to parents over deadly flu strain set to rip through states. United States' longest government shutdown in history came to an end. Ondo State Football Agency unveils coach Bowale Akinbode as Sunshine Stars head coach. And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Bowale Akinbode. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State government has said the over 1.5 million out-of-school children.
We give you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
The Southwest in Nigeria and the rest of the world.
As clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo